My friends, listen up, because today we are done with the excuses. We are done with the self-doubt. We are done believing that our past defines us. Because let me tell you something powerful. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are not stuck. I don't care how many times you've fallen. I don't care how long you've been telling yourself, it's too late for me. You need to understand your story is not over. You can rewrite it. You can take back control. You can start again. Your past does not define you. Read that again. Let it sink in. Because too many people live their lives trapped by old stories, convinced that where they've been determines where they're going. But that is a lie. A belief designed to keep you small. A script written by fear, by failure, by people who never had the courage to rise themselves. And I'm here to tell you, it's time to let that go. I know what it's like to feel stuck, to feel like you've made too many mistakes, wasted too much time, or missed too many chances. Maybe you're looking at your life right now and thinking, this isn't what I planned. Maybe you're carrying regret, wondering if it's too late to turn things around. But let me tell you something powerful. Your past is just a chapter, not the whole book. And the best part, you hold the pen. Every single day, you get to decide who you are going to be. Not your past, not your failures, not your circumstances, you. And the moment you take ownership of your life, the moment you stop letting yesterday dictate tomorrow, is the moment your entire world shifts. Think about it. Some of the most successful, inspiring people in the world didn't have perfect starts. They didn't have everything figured out. They faced failures, setbacks, heartbreaks. But they refused to let those moments define them. They chose to rise anyway. J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. Colonel Sanders didn't start KFC until he was in his 60s. Oprah was fired from her first TV job. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination. Can you imagine if they had let their pasts define them? If they had accepted the belief that their failures meant they weren't good enough? The world would have missed out on their gifts, their magic, their legacy. And the same goes for you. Your story is still being written. And no matter what's happened before, you get to choose what happens next. So, what's stopping you? Fear? Doubt? The idea that it's too late for you? Let me tell you, those are just excuses dressed up as logic. There is no timeline for success. There is no expiration date on growth. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is the decision to start. And I get it. Starting over can feel overwhelming. But here's the truth. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to begin. Maybe that means waking up and choosing to believe in yourself, even if it feels unfamiliar. Maybe it means taking one step, no matter how small, toward the future you want. Maybe it means letting go of the limiting beliefs that have kept you stuck for too long. Because here's what I know for sure. When you decide that your past is not your destiny, when you take responsibility for your future, when you refuse to let old failures hold you back, you step into your power. And that's when everything changes. Your past does not define you. Your future is unwritten. And the best part, you are the author. So pick up the pen, rewrite the story, and rise. Decide to rewrite your story. That's it. That's the moment everything changes. Not when the perfect opportunity shows up, not when someone else gives you permission, not when you magically feel ready. No, change happens the second you decide, truly decide, that you are no longer going to be a prisoner of your past. your mistakes, or your old excuses. Because let's be honest, how many times have you told yourself, I'll start tomorrow? How many times have you let doubt creep in and convince you that you're not good enough, not smart enough, not ready enough? How many times have you waited for the right moment only to realize that moment never comes? Here's the truth. If you don't decide to change, nothing changes. And if you don't rewrite your story, someone else will write it for you. Your circumstances will write it. Your past failures will write it. The people who doubted you will write it. And before you know it, you'll be living a life that doesn't even feel like yours. But the good news? You don't have to accept that. You don't have to be the victim of your own life. You can take control right here, right now. And it all starts with a decision, a real decision, not just wishful thinking, not just hoping things will magically get better, a decision backed by action, by belief, by a refusal to settle for anything less than what you're capable of. Because that's what separates the people who rise from the people who stay stuck. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's the courage to say, I am more than my past, and I refuse to let it define me. It's the willingness to get uncomfortable, to step outside the familiar, to take risks, to fall down and get back up again. I know this might sound scary. Change is scary. Stepping into the unknown is scary. But do you know what's even scarier? Waking up 5, 10, 20 years from now and realizing you never went after what you truly wanted. That you let fear win. That you played it safe instead of playing full out. That you let the best version of yourself slip away because you were too afraid to claim it. So let this be the moment. The moment you stop waiting, the moment you stop telling yourself that you need more time, more confidence, more validation, because you don't. You just need to decide that the old story, the one where you weren't enough, the one where you played small, the one where you let your past control you, is over. You are writing a new chapter now. One where you show up for yourself. One where you take ownership of your life. One where you stop letting fear dictate your choices and start leading with courage instead. And no, it won't always be easy. There will be setbacks. There will be days when doubt creeps back in. There will be moments when you feel like giving up. But you have to keep going. You have to remind yourself why you started. You have to remember that rewriting your story isn't about perfection. It's about progress. So what do you choose? Do you choose the same old story, the same old patterns, the same old excuses? Or do you choose to rise, to step into your power, to create a future that excites you, challenges you, and brings out the absolute best in you? You already know the answer. Now it's time to act on it. Rewrite your story. Because you can. Because you must. Because your future depends on it. Small daily shifts lead to big transformation. That's the secret. That's the truth most people overlook because they're too focused on the big, flashy changes. They think success comes from one massive leap, one perfect opportunity, one life-altering breakthrough. But real change, real growth, it happens in the little things, the small decisions, the daily habits that over time completely reshape who you are and what you're capable of. The problem is that most people underestimate the power of consistency. They start strong, fueled by motivation. But when results don't come fast enough, they quit. They say, this isn't working. When in reality, they were just a few steps away from the breakthrough they've been waiting for. Think about it. If you exercise once, you won't suddenly be fit. If you eat one healthy meal, it won't transform your body. If you read one book, you won't instantly be an expert. But when you do these things consistently, day after day, they compound, they stack up, And before you know it, you've built something powerful. It's the same with rewriting your story. You don't have to change everything overnight. You don't have to figure it all out today. You just have to start making small, intentional choices that move you in the direction of the life you want. Maybe that means waking up 30 minutes earlier to work on your goals. Maybe it means swapping out negative self-talk for words of encouragement. Maybe it means choosing discipline over distraction, courage over comfort, action over excuses. Whatever it is, those small shifts matter. And here's the best part. Once you commit to those small changes, they create momentum. At first, it's slow. It might even feel like nothing is happening. But just like a plane taking off, the hardest part is getting off the ground. Once you gain speed, once you build momentum, everything changes. Look at anyone who has achieved something great. They didn't get there overnight. They weren't handed success on a silver platter. They built it. One choice, one habit, one day at a time. They kept showing up even when it was hard, even when no one was watching, even when it felt like nothing was working. That's the difference. That's what separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck. It's not about being the smartest or the most talented. It's about being relentless. It's about being willing to do the work, to stay committed, to trust the process, even when the results aren't immediate. So if you've been waiting for a sign to start, this is it. But don't start with something overwhelming. Start small. Pick one habit that aligns with the person you want to become and commit to it. Show up for yourself every single day, because every time you do, you are proving to yourself that change is possible, that transformation is happening, that your future is being built brick by brick through the small choices you make today. And one day you'll look back and realize that those little shifts, the ones that seemed so small at the time, completely changed your life. Your future demands bold action. I know that that's not always easy to hear because it means stepping out of your comfort zone, confronting the fear that's been holding you back, and pushing yourself past the limits you've placed on your own potential. But here's the cold, hard truth. If you want to change your life, if you want to experience something different, you have to take action. And not just any action. Bold, decisive, unwavering action. You see, too many people get stuck in the idea that they need to feel ready. They wait for the perfect moment, the ideal conditions, the absolute certainty that everything will work out. But here's the kicker. That moment never comes. You will never feel 100% ready, and if you're waiting for that feeling, you'll be waiting forever. Bold action doesn't wait for the perfect timing. Bold action doesn't wait for fear to subside. Bold action doesn't wait for you to have all the answers. It's about moving forward with courage, even when you don't have all the pieces. It's about trusting that you'll figure things out as you go. Take a moment to think about some of the most successful people you admire. Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, Serena Williams, Oprah Winfrey. What do they all have in common? It's not just talent or luck or perfect circumstances. It's their ability to act, even when faced with uncertainty. They didn't wait for permission. They didn't wait for everything to fall into place. They just took the next step, even when they didn't know how the journey would unfold. This is where most people miss it. They wait until they feel comfortable, until all the doubts are gone, until they have complete clarity. But the truth is, comfort doesn't create growth. Comfort doesn't create breakthroughs. Action does. The more you move, the more you'll learn. The more you step outside your comfort zone, the more you'll discover what you're truly capable of. If you've been holding back because you're afraid of making mistakes, I get it. Fear is natural. It's a part of being human. But you need to understand something powerful. Failure is not the end of the road. It's part of the journey. Every successful person has failed. Every leader, every entrepreneur, every artist, they've faced rejection, criticism, and setbacks. but they didn't let those moments define them. They used them as fuel to keep going. You need to stop seeing failure as something to be avoided and start seeing it as a necessary part of growth. Every time you fail, you learn. Every time you stumble, you gain valuable experience that will guide you forward. The only way to truly fail is to give up. So what does bold action look like for you? Maybe it means taking the leap and starting that business you've been dreaming about. Maybe it means having that difficult conversation you've been avoiding. Maybe it means finally writing the book or taking the class or launching the project you've been sitting on for years. Whatever it is, I want you to commit to taking that first step. No more waiting. No more overthinking. No more talking yourself out of it. Just do it. I promise you, the moment you take action, everything changes. The universe will start to align in ways you never imagined. Opportunities will open up. You'll gain confidence. You'll build momentum. And most importantly, you'll prove to yourself that you are capable of far more than you ever thought possible. So stop holding back. Stop letting fear control you. Your future is waiting for you to step into it. Take bold action today and watch your life transform. Your comeback story isn't just for you, it's for the people around you. It's for the ones who need to see that transformation is possible, who need proof that no matter where you've been or what you've faced, there is always a way forward. It's for your family, your friends, your community, and even strangers who will look at you and think, if they can do it, so can I. That's the power of your journey. It's not just about you, it's about the impact you can have when you rise and show others the way. Every time you get back up, every time you push past the pain, every time you refuse to let your circumstances dictate your future, you become a beacon of hope for someone else. You might not see it right away, but there are people watching you, people who are silently rooting for you even if they've never said a word. And when you rise, when you overcome the odds, when you turn your setbacks into comebacks, you inspire them to do the same. Think about the people in your life who have impacted you. They may not be famous or celebrated, but there was something about their resilience, their strength, their courage that made you believe in yourself a little more. That's what you can offer others. Your story can be the spark that ignites someone else's fire. But here's the thing. To inspire others, you have to first decide to rise. You have to make the choice to stand tall in the face of adversity and keep moving forward no matter how many obstacles are thrown your way. You have to be willing to embrace your own potential and stop playing small. Because when you hold yourself back, you hold others back. When you shrink away from your greatness, you deny the world the gift you have to offer. So I want you to really think about this. How many people are waiting for you to show up as your best self? How many people are waiting for you to be the example that proves it's possible to overcome? How many people will find their courage because you found yours? The ripple effect of your rise is far more powerful than you realize. This isn't just about achieving your own goals. This is about becoming a living example of what's possible when someone decides they won't settle for anything less than their best. When you choose to rise, you're not just lifting yourself up, you're lifting everyone around you. You're showing the world that transformation is possible, that growth is always within reach, and that it's never too late to rewrite your story. There will be moments when it feels like no one is noticing. There will be times when you wonder if it's all worth it. You might even question whether you're doing enough. But remember this, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep showing up. The people who need your story will find it. They will see your progress, your perseverance, your courage, and it will give them the strength to keep going too. So when you rise, rise for you, but also rise for the people who need you to be strong, to be bold, to be fearless. Because your comeback isn't just about reclaiming your own life. It's about lighting the path for others to follow. It's about proving that no matter how many times you fall, you can always get back up. And that is the power of transformation. That is the power of rising. You have the ability to change not only your life, but to change the lives of everyone around you. And that is a legacy worth creating.